Our next guest began cooking home-style vegan eats in a tiny kitchen 7 years ago, and since then her business has grown to include everything from full-service catering, cooking classes, meal delivery service, and more. Chef Rachel Klein is the owner of Miss Rachel's Pantry. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me, Dr. White.
Oh, it's a pleasure, and you are going to cook this fabulous treats here. So firstly, as you're starting to cook, why go vegan?
I am a vegan person, and I think veganism is great because it does such a little amount of harm. I don't think that any animal should have to die for me to eat, and I don't like the idea of lives being commoditized.
Okay, so let's start cooking.
Yeah, so this is...
Okay, so what are we cooking today?
Yeah, we're going to cook a spring vegetable primavera. So we have so many different vegetables that are, unique to this time of year. We're going to use onions first. These are Vidalia onions that have been diced up. I'm just going to put some in this pan.
So while you're doing that, when people go vegan, how do they get their protein? Because that's always a problem.
Absolutely. There's a lot of protein.
Do you need to mix that up?
I'm going to let it just simmer for a little bit. There's a lot of protein in many different kinds of vegetables, and there's also legumes. There's tempeh and tofu and even wheat protein. So for example, a piece of tempeh, which we use commonly as a vegan protein, has the same amount of protein as a porterhouse steak. So you're not lacking.
Now most people don't know what tempeh is. I love it. I actually do a stir fry with tempeh and vegetables, and it's really great.
Yeah, it's a fermented whole soy protein, so it's actually very easy to digest, and it has some antioxidant properties to it.
So your restaurant has this farmhouse style events,
It does.
So what does it mean, a farmhouse dinner? What is that about? Because it sounds so intriguing.
It's a little different. It's one large table, and I'll put mushrooms in while we talk. These are my Takis.
And Rachel's so kind, she made something gluten-free for me because
I
need that.
A lot of our customers are gluten-free.
Right. So they request that.
They request that for sure. So what it means is we have one large farmhouse table that actually one of our customers made us. We see 12 people at it. And it's 4 courses every Saturday evening. So you're sitting with people you've never met before. So it's kind of neat. In traditional restaurants, it's weird to even kind of...
Right, you hardly communicate with the person, but here you're sitting together and the meal is always a time for conversation.
Exactly.
So they get to talk to one another, meet new people, have new relationships formed from that?
Exactly. It's really nice, and we're BYOB, so at first it might be a little quiet. Everybody has, maybe a drink or maybe they just realize that they have something in common with the person sitting across from them, and they really open up and become friends.
So you put in what kind of mushrooms?
These are maitake mushrooms. These are super earthy, and they have a really wonderful texture, and they don't usually get mushy. So
now I noticed, Rachel, you're not putting any seasoning in there, and you have a little bit of sea salt here, which I think is healthy. I use that.
That's what we're gonna.
Okay, so it's very simple.
It's super simple. So we'll salt this a little bit. We can salt as we go along, and I always err on the side of not as much salt because you can always taste it and finish it at the end with more. So these are more mushrooms, the shiitake mushrooms here.
And these mushrooms, by the way, mushrooms are really healthy.
They
I know that.
They are, and they're a diuretic too.
That I didn't know.
They also, so they'll help you from retaining water. They have a lot of nutrients, and they'll suck up any flavors you cook them with.
So where do you get your products for cooking?
All over the place. Recently we've been working with Fair Food Philly, and they're a nonprofit. They have a little stand in Reading Terminal Market, and they source from local farmers.
Oh, great. So you're supporting local farmers, which is great.
Exactly.
And you don't only support local farmers, you do a lot for supporting the community.
Yeah.
You just had something I think you said in March, Dish It Up. So tell us a little bit about that.
Sure, so that's a great event. Most of the events that...
Now these are...
Oh, I'm sorry, these are enoki mushrooms and honeycat mushrooms.
Which is that?
This little guy right
Look
here.
How cute. I've never heard of that.
Yeah, they're fun.
And these are locally grown too?
The enokis are not, but everything else is.
Okay, great.
So most of the events that we participate in are nonprofits for helping animals, but the one we do to help women every year, we participate in, it's called Dish It Up. And
Women Against
Abuse. It's one of their largest events of the year, and it's a fundraiser where we make a bunch of little bites for people to try, and it's a really fun night, and it's pretty much all female chefs.
Oh,
So
great.
that's really nice.
Now, if people are cooking this up in their homes, how long does it take?
This whole dish, from start to finish, including making a pasta, and we've chosen a gluten-free pasta, which takes a little bit longer to cook, but altogether about 20 minutes. Of course, I had the luxury of chopping these before I came on here.
But even from chopping to putting it in the pan.
Yeah, it's a quickie, and you can make a lot to bring for lunch the next day, or you know.
Right, that's great.
So these are kind of cool, these little guys here. These are called fiddlehead ferns. And
now,
these are,
those are adorable.
Aren't they cute?
They look like snails.
They look like snails, and they taste like asparagus. And
good, because I love asparagus.
They're so wonderful, and they're
and that's local too.
Very local and very limited time only. They are only available this time of the spring.
Perfect. So we're right in season.
Exactly. And these two, this is called a ramp, and a ramp is kind of like a cross between a scallion and a garlic.
You know what I'm noticing is there are so many vegetables that people have no idea what they are and how healthy they are for us.
Yeah,
and they're like right in our backyard.
They are.
It's amazing.
And they don't have a long shelf life, so we take advantage of them when we can get them.
Okay, so we got to finish this up here, and I have to taste it.
Yes,
so,
you do.
So those are tomatoes.
Red bell pepper and tomato, yep.
Okay, and what goes next?
Some basil.
All right,
and it goes.
And basil is great. I've been making gluten-free pizza with basil, and oh, it's wonderful.
That's great.
And it tastes good.
It tastes wonderful. And then, do you want to pop a couple of these in?
Go ahead.
Oh, okay, I'll do that right now. So in with these peas that I.
All right, we got to cook it all up in 1 minute here.
All right, here we go.
Look at that. And it smells good. It really, and you know what I love too? The colors, because it's very beautiful. You can take a picture of it.
Exactly.
And then you can eat it. And you're also
you eat with your eyes, right?
Okay. So what's the last ingredient?
We're gonna put a sauce together in 10 seconds.
Okay, because we may not even have 10 seconds.
Here we go. In with the beans.
Okay, 30 seconds here. Russian Rachel.
Rushing me to make a sauce.
Okay, so that's actually the sauce.
White beans and water.
I was wondering what that was going to be, and that's the sauce. All right, that's good. All right, so the sauce goes in it, and Rachel, you're also doing so much with this Woodstock Farm Sanctuary.
Yes,
and
very excited to be
look
a part of that.
how beautiful it is. Let's show the finished dish. It's beautiful, and let me taste it real fast.
Yes, here.
Oh, where's my fork?
Here you
are.
All
right. Rachel, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Enjoy.
Power Your Life will return in a moment, and I'm going to eat. Ahead, find out what's coming up next week. Thank you. Whether it's helping a loved one or ourselves overcome a challenging situation or to move ahead in our lives and in our careers, something is needed. And that something is commitment and determination. When we hold strong to our dreams and to our decisions with resolve, no matter the people in our lives who tell us that it's impossible or the barriers that seem to be insurmountable, we can achieve our goals. Hold fast to your beliefs and believe in you. You are worth it. That's it for Power Your Life tonight. Next week, she's best known as the little mean girl on Little House on the Prairie. Nellie Olson, actress Allison Arngrim, joins me for a great show. Remember that you have the power to power your dreams and power your life.